This is Hannibal here with a UAP slash worldwide drone incursion news update. Obviously, the biggest incursions are going on right now in New Jersey, where there appears to be at least 10 military bases. And I'll get into that more, but no statement so far from President Biden, and his administration has given no straight answers, really, other than not to worry about it at this time. Military bases have confirmed incursions. A lot of the sightings are of normal aircraft. However, there's a lot of them that aren't. Apparently, the down drone report yesterday was just a hobby or a toy drone. The mayor of Montville County, New Jersey, is taking this situation into his own hands, saying that he's going to declare a no-fly zone over his town for drones if nobody else is doing it. He's not sure how he's going to enforce it, but he's publicly coming out and saying now that he doesn't want any drones of any type flying over his Montville County, New Jersey airspace. They have been seen over industrial plants and military bases in Germany now as well. All the bases in other countries that they appear to be hovering over, such as the UK and Germany, are U.S. bases or joint U.S. bases. There's one that happened as far back as August in Germany that was a NATO Air Force base, and it was actually put on high alert. And that was supposedly a drone incursion. It happened again over U.S. Air Force Base in Germany this week. That was confirmed on Friday, yesterday. They did rule out the possibility that the drones were operated by amateurs related to this Germany U.S. Air Force Base incident, because they just couldn't have gotten over that if they had been amateurs. It's interesting that the one Chinese national with the drone over California, over the Space Force base there, was arrested immediately, and the drone was he was arrested and the drone was down, and they seem to get to the bottom of that right away. So why is it dealt with so easily in California with that guy, but in New Jersey and other states, there seems to be no resolution to this? Some congressmen and government people are apparently getting classified briefings and then coming out after these briefings saying there's nothing at all to worry about. So either they are getting information that there's nothing to worry about, or they are being told to say that after these briefings. Because meanwhile, nothing seems to be being done to stop this, at least publicly, and nobody is confirming the identity of the mystery drones. No answers from anyone formally investigating this. The government does seem to be very relaxed about this at a high level, considering the frustration that the lower levels of government are showing over this. There seems to be a huge defense capabilities gap with these drones flying around, whatever they are. If they aren't ours, I mean, we're showing a huge problem with defense capabilities. These are potentially espionage drones, very potentially, considering they're hovering over Air Force and military bases and nuclear plants and nuclear facilities. They could also contain biomaterial. If they were weaponized, we would be in a lot of trouble. A drone expert has said that. If they were not, I mean, they could be weaponized. We don't know for sure about all of them. They could just be spy drones. We don't know, because so far, at least none of them have been captured or shot down. And if they have, it hasn't been revealed to us. So if they had weapons on them, this would be very scary. Government apparently lacks the technology to adequately deal with them. And there is legal issues as far as shooting them down that are in place right now. It is possible to launch drones from other drones. That is a fact. There still has been no update on if we've seen any of these launch or land, other than the Chinese one that was caught a couple of days ago in California. Apparently, according to drone experts, these are very likely being flown by computers, even the larger ones. And there's no sign of this stopping anytime soon, as it's happening in other countries and other states. A lot of people are ruling out Russia and China, despite some members of Congress saying that they are Chinese or Chinese related, and some people speculating could be Russia, particularly for the ones over the UK. There's a lot of government officials saying this is nothing to worry about, and other government officials are offended by them saying that. But the main reason they're saying that it's not Russia or China is because they feel if they were Russia or China, they wouldn't be using lights. However, some of them have been seen without lights. So there's definitely some out there that are just normal helicopters and airplanes. There's some that are ours investigating what's going on. There's some very mysterious ones. There's some orb-like ones. There's some that look like what could be described as UFOs. And there's some that look more like conventional drones and larger than normal conventional drones. They are saying that there is absolutely no evidence to prove they are from a foreign nexus. But at the same time, they're saying they don't know what they are. So we're not really getting substantial evidence that they are not foreign. The technology used is very sophisticated, and it's making our country look very vulnerable if it isn't ours, as far as the United States. One thing that they keep saying, if you really listen to it, where they're talking about malicious and nefarious activity, a lot of the times they will say, there appears to be no malicious activity or intent at this particular stage. So there is a difference between at this particular stage and when it actually becomes malicious. But there certainly seems to be evidence of monitoring and espionage, as well as monitoring craft, watercraft, and some government craft. So, I mean, there definitely seems to be espionage intent, if nothing else, on some of these things. People that use drones that are bought in stores that have been trying to record these apparently are quickly losing battery life whenever they get close to these. Usually a battery for a conventional drone that you would buy in a hobby store would last 30 to 50 minutes, but apparently when they're getting close to these things to try and film them from civilians, they're quickly losing battery life. The Joy base, McGuire Lakehurst base in New Jersey, is the largest and most advanced unit in the world for aircraft launch. And there's a massive amount of National Guard bases in New Jersey, at least 10, as I mentioned earlier. So that could be one of the reasons why the most activity is happening in New Jersey. Is this actually New Jersey related military craft that we're not publicly talking about, or is something wanting to gather information about these bases? They're saying that if they're terrorists, they would be the dumbest terrorists in the world because they're using lights, and it'd be difficult to not spot them because they're using lights. At the same time, if they're saying they're the dumbest terrorists in the world to use lights, why aren't we just capturing or making a greater effort to stop these things that are using lights? Because it doesn't mean that they're necessarily dropping something. They can be gathering info or looking for something. Just because they're not actually visibly firing on us or visibly carrying payloads doesn't necessarily mean they're harmless. They are all, a lot of them are looking very different. Many of them are round and showing up multiple at a time. Some of them looks like they have rings spinning around them. Many of them are seen flying low. They are now showing up also in Massachusetts and South Carolina. They are not scrambling planes to do anything about these things, which is so bizarre considering for the Chinese quote unquote spy balloon, whatever you want to call it, There was a lot of buzz about it just before it was shot down, but that only lasted a couple of days. I believe these type of sightings began around November 17th to happen like more intensely, and so now we're December 14th. And we haven't seen any scrambled planes or anything about this, which is just weird, which makes you think that they could be government, but why is the government doing nothing to ease hysteria, which seems to be growing day by day? There's two types of people. Apparently, there's types of people that are like, oh well, this keeps happening. We're seeing these every day. I guess we better just get used to this. Nothing seems to be happening. Nothing to worry about. These things are just mysteriously flying over us. Let's just go back to day-to-day normal life. Then there's the people that are like similar to me. I don't think I'm going over the edge or anything, but it's like, this is so weird. This keeps happening. It's growing. Why is nothing being done about this? Because even if it is government craft, what are they looking for that it's growing and happening even in other countries over U.S. bases? As far as private companies or government entities taking like responsibility for it, no private companies are saying, "Oh, these are ours." No, China, Russia is not saying, "Hey, they're ours." Iran is not saying, "These are ours. You better watch out. We're already in your airspace." The story is definitely still unfolding. Some people, and I mean, this is just stupid to say, a good shotgun will solve the problem. Some people are literally saying that, and even Donald Trump. And I know he's just saying this to stir the pot because there's nothing you can do about it yet. He's not inaugurated yet. Where yesterday he was like, if we don't know what they are, shoot them down. But he believes the government knows what they are. If you get people trying to shoot them down, first of all, the ones that appear to be advanced are crazy advanced. A good shotgun is going to do nothing against them other than possibly rile them up. But we're getting to the point where some locals may actually try to shoot these things down. So that's the main news of this morning, December 14th. I'm sure there's going to be more. Again, very good point, Aiden. That could happen. This is all very weird. How about the guy that predicted this? I mean, he did say there could be something happening on December 3rd. This type of thing was happening since around. It started happening really when Trump was elected to a lower level. It has been happening for years, but it started increasing around the time Trump was elected. And then when Biden approved the Ukraine to use the missiles, which they haven't used yet to my knowledge, but they were giving them and approved to use them, that's when it started kicking up. And then there was the guy that said he used AI technology to predict an alleged invasion on December 3rd. This definitely seemed to go up around the time of December 3rd. Is it because we heard about this December 3rd prediction and just more people have been looking since December 3rd and we're seeing this more? Or does December 3rd did it actually increase around that time? Because it does seem to be increasing every day. And I never really believed that. But if you want to think about this whole December 3rd prophecy or whatever AI prophecy that was apparently predicted through technology, does an invasion necessarily mean they have to come and start firing on us December 3rd? Or does it mean they just have to start coming in and slowly gathering forces and who knows what they could be doing if it is that? Some people are even saying, and this is just another theory I'll throw out there, that maybe these things are leaving for whatever. It's stuff that's been on the planet leaving. I don't necessarily believe that, but some people say we're seeing more and more of these because they're actually leaving. I don't know. I would like to see a statement from Biden and Elon Musk about all this. Top of the morning to you, Dan. They are hovering over everything, not just bases. I mean, they're hovering over houses, nuclear plants, even kids playing soccer on soccer fields. There's a lot of weird stuff. I mean, I'm not going to throw that out, Edward. There could be, if the government and FBI truly don't know what's going on, Um, like what could be if this is not a war. If it was, we would have already lost. That's the thing. I mean, if it was something wanting to take us over right away, as the drone expert said this morning, if these things had weapons on them, we'd be in a lot of trouble. However, whatever information they appear to be gathering, they're obviously gathering it. And this story isn't over yet. It's still going on. Um, Again, it could be positioning or getting battlefield readiness involved. Who knows? You can say it's all BS, but give us an answer. Somebody give us an answer of what's going on other than don't worry about it. Tell us, don't worry about it. It's a top secret project. Tell us, for the people that say don't worry about it, they're just looking for they're looking for particular nukes that may have been planted in the New Jersey area, and they don't want to alarm us. I mean, to me, that's not very comforting either. I don't know what's more comforting, if it's aliens maybe in the area because they hear of these nuclear threats going on and they actually want to see what's going on and what potentially could happen to the earth if they have assets here. Maybe that could be the best one. If it's our own government just testing response levels, why would they publicly like show everyone that our response levels are so horrible if that is the case? I don't know. I don't know what would be the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is if they are foreign. I don't know. It's very dangerous stuff. But I appreciate all the comments, and I'll get back to you guys later with more news because it keeps unraveling. And I appreciate everything. Thanks for the super sticker, Dave Kruger. I'm heading off to the gym, but I will be researching this later on.